What's up, guys? Today we're going to be working on the 2013 Honda Accord rear brakes. We're just going to be doing the driver's side here today. Give you a up close personal view of all the steps necessary to change the brakes. It's not too difficult. It depends on the vehicle. If you like today's video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of more helpful content like this. First things first, most important thing about any job working on a car is making sure that the vehicle is jacked up properly at a correct jack point, along with a jack stand. You always want double protection. Always release a lot of the pressure onto the jack stand and both the jack, just so you can be protected by two different devices there. So as you can see, after making sure the vehicle is properly jacked up, got the lug nuts off, got the tire off with my new and improved Milwaukee fuel impact wrench, which makes the job much easier. So after inspection, I can tell that this customer definitely need a rotor, but it's on the rear, so it's not as effective. The only thing is the pads will probably wear a lot quicker. Instead of maybe lasting 3 years, they'll probably last a year and a half, since this rotor isn't being replaced with the smooth surface rotor. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the caliper. Sometimes the inner bolt will spin while you're trying to loosen the caliper bolt, so it's necessary to clamp it down with some vice grips. I believe that I used a 14 millimeter socket. This is a 14 millimeter bolt. Obviously, different size vehicles, different vehicles have different size bolts here on the caliper. Sometimes you can go ahead and rotate the caliper up, being careful not to stretch the holes. You never want to damage your outer brake holes, but often you can't rotate the caliper up. You'll have to take both of these bolts off, as you see me doing here. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and pry off the caliper away from the rotor, so that I can get in there and go to the next step, pushing the piston in, which I'll show you next, and removing the old brake pads. I know I'm not great at commentary, but you know what they say, practice make perfect, so I'm gonna keep at it. So now that I got the caliper separated, I'm gonna go ahead and untorque the piston. The piston is the part of the caliper that comes out once fluid is released into the brake lines. It's actually what presses the brake pads against the rotors to stop the car. So this piston has to be turned clockwise, as you can see right there, to reset it so that you can fit the new brake pads in. So I'm probably going to come off of this drill and go ahead and do it manually here in a second. So this little piston tube, this little cube, I forgot the proper name of it. It has like little prongs, different prongs on each side. Depending on what kind of piston that you have, you can use the necessary size so that you can turn the piston clockwise to reset it.
Home on the now, mama proud, just a small flat. I'm all in and I'm taking all bad. Millionaire in the making, baby, small scale. Yeah, know yourself, know your worth, boy.
So here's a good angle where you can see that the piston is flush against the caliper wall. It's reset. Now the next step is for me to go ahead and install the new brake pads. Keep in mind, you always have to lift up the hood and take the cap off of the master cylinder, which is where the brake fluid go, so that you don't bust a line as you're resetting this piston, because what you're doing is you push that back in, it's forcing fluid back up in the line. Right here I'm just making sure it's all the way up against the wall of the caliper, because I don't want to waste time, trying to put the new brakes on, and I can't pull the caliper down due to spacing reasons. Now, here's a key point. If this piston does not reset, for example, if I cannot turn that piston and get it back in, that means that it's frozen. You're going to need to replace the whole caliper. Usually this happens when you start hearing your brakes scraping and scrubbing, and you just let it go too far, and that piston extends out too far, it freezes, it seizes, and it's no good. This is why you want to get your brake service as soon as you start hearing that squeaking. The squeaking is an indicator on the brake pad that touches the rotor to give you an idea that your brakes are in need of replacement. This is what happens right here when you ignore that and go too far. All you're going to do is cause more damage to your rotors and to your piston potentially, and cost you much more money. Right now I'm replacing the, I don't like to replace these clips unless they're absolutely in need of replacement, because sometimes when you put the new ones on, it's hard to get the brake pad back in the groove, especially on the inside, because you can hardly see. So next I'm going to go ahead and install the brake pad on the inside first. I was always taught to put the pad with the indicator on the inside. Some people like to put it on the outside, but I like to put mine on the inside. This is the part where I was talking about the new clips could be a pain in the butt. But if for any reason that you put this pad on here, tap it in place, and you can't turn the rotor at all, then the pad more than likely is jammed up with the clip. So you'll have to take the pad off and make sure that the points slide into the clips correctly. Or else, you know how when you let off the brake and the car just rolls freely, it won't do that if this pad isn't placed properly. It doesn't have to rotate completely freely, just as long as you can rotate it. Once you put the tire in on, and the force of the car is gonna smooth out those brake pads. The outer pad is much easier to install because you got a better visual on the sliding space where the pad goes into. Right here, I'm just touching the clips to make sure that they didn't buckle or anything. Make sure they're still intact and that the pads slid in there smoothly. Next, we're gonna go ahead and lock it up, put the caliper back on, start the bolts, line the bolts up. I usually start with the bottom one just to get it lined up. It makes it easier to put the bolt in the top one. Might have to tap the caliper a little bit to line up the holes. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and place the vice grips on the inner bolt to keep it from spinning while trying to turn the outer bolt. Never want to torque these caliper bolts down too tight because they will snap on you. And if that happens, you'll need to drill out the bolt or buy another caliper. This is how you change the rear brake pads on a 2013 Honda Accord. Most jobs are pretty similar when it comes to brakes though. Every now and then you get different foreign cars. A lot of things is hard to reach, but otherwise the mechanics of it is pretty simple. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the tire back on, tighten down the lug nuts, and lower the car, and I'll finish up with the other side. It doesn't make sense to do one side since the brake pads are only sold in pairs. So last step is to go ahead and release the pressure from the jack stands. Go ahead and pull the jack stands out of here so that I can go ahead and lower the car. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel.